All right, now just to continue. So, like I said, I think that one of the big things that confused me with my grandpa was he seemed to me to be anti-religion. Like, he would said that a lot of like those like Jimmy Swaggart, those guys were like emotionalism and stuff, and that's self-confirmatory. Now I understand why, but I never really understood what he meant by like transcend the self. I thought it was like a hippie concept, like, oh yeah, transcend the self, be for communism and race mixing. But now I understand it's like the self first has limitations. The senses have limitations, so you can't see the truth, and also the self, the ego, your person yourself is going to shape how you view things, and it's going to distort things and contort things, right? So you want to if you transcend the self, then you can be more open to pure awareness. Now again, I didn't understand what my grandpa meant by pure awareness. I thought he was talking about like like some hippie thing, but like race mixing, pure awareness, just be like a meditative state. No, he meant like pure awareness. So now I understand, but so when he would be like, it's emotionalism, like the Christian music, a lot of the rock music could be emotionalism and stuff. And I'd be like, okay, well, emotions are linked to the body. That's self-confirmatory, but I never really understood it. But now I understand, like, and I played some, Christian music for my grandpa. My grandpa would be like, yeah, that could be soothing. That could be meditative. That can help you transcend the self. Now, but there's no formula. So like, another thing that I didn't like with my grandpa was, but then I would think he was white supremacist because he'd be like, Mozart's good and stuff, and like the intellectual stuff, like he would give a hierarchy of things like the self, the skeleton, the science, and like a hierarchy of levels. And like it seemed to me that he thought that like consciousness or like inquiry and learning is like the highest level, the mind. But I was like, well, that's white supremacist because then you're looking down upon the black people or the people of color who are more associated with physicality and stuff, right? But then my grandpa would later teach me, and I started to understand that, well, even the mental is not necessarily transcendence of the self, because it could be related to the ego and rational thinking as opposed to inspiration and truth. So, even physicality could be a way to the flow. There's no formula. So I'm starting to get a better understanding of it. And, I thought he was anti-religion. And again, like I thought that religion was white supremacist. So I like that. But then I realized, okay, he's not necessarily anti-religion, but he's pointing to, you could through emotionalism get into the flow, but also it could be tying you to the body and not to the flow, to the transcendence of self. So I'm starting to understand it better now.